What's up, guys? So welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I want to give away a few tips on how I ran 10K for about 2 months, a little over 2 months. All right. So beginning over the summer, or closer towards the end of the summer, I'd say, I started to actually pick up cardio a lot more, which is weird because during the beginning of the summer, you're shredding, and this is something that you're consistently doing for some time throughout the summer, making sure that you can actually meet your macros for whatever goals that you need. So me personally, I kind of did the opposite, and one of the main reasons why I did this was just to be healthier, also for a stress reliever, and also just to be in a great mental state. So some of the tips that I want to run through with you that I did to be able to actually get through these runs, because 10K or 6 miles, however you want to put it, I do know that 10K is about 6.2 miles, but I rounded it. Kill me if you want to. I don't care. So the music choice that I listened to, this is tip 1. The music that I listened to was Martin Garrix, okay? And before you say anything or anything pops in your head, I know I personally like all different types of music. So one of the albums that I like to run to by Martin Garrix is his STMPD album, which is great for running. And the reasoning why I'm saying that is because when I'm getting into the rhythm while I'm on the treadmill, it's really great to be able to have the beats flow as I run, especially if I'm switching from being tired versus having energy. This also may be similar to if you're running outside. You do end up losing energy depending on what phase you are in running. So me personally, this helps from when I'm tired, and the song choice personally for me, when it's playing, it literally hits each song at the correct spot of how I am reacting to the run. So while I'm running, if I'm tired, the actual beat actually gets a little bit more mellow, compared to if I have a lot of energy, the beat actually starts getting more rapid and faster, and it gets me going, and it gets my mood kicked in, and I get the adrenaline going. So that's the reason why I listen to that. You might not have that reaction towards any specific album, but I definitely will say that when you're running 10K or a few miles, you definitely want to make sure that you choose a great playlist. Also too, because of focusing, I think that you should really focus when you're running. Little distractions like trying to switch the song that you're listening to in the middle of your third mile can be really gruesome. So make sure that you stay on top of your playlist. Tip number 2. So what do I drink? Listen, I made a video about energy drinks. It was between Red Bull, Monster, and Bang Energy. So if you haven't seen that video yet, you should be able to see a link through this video to be able to go catch that video. So it's really cool. It was fun. I'm going to start doing more videos like that, so stay tuned for that. So Red Bull, that's my choice. Red Bull is the choice that I use, and the only reasoning behind that is because I feel like Red Bull gives a more consistent energy kick for me personally. I feel like it doesn't come and go. It's not like a instant burst of energy. It just gives me exactly what I need, as if I was like sipping caffeine all day, or coffee, to say the least. So that's my drink of choice. Now, in regards to what I eat before any of my runs, so I usually eat very little. I'll eat scrambled eggs, or I'll eat like a protein bar. Granted that most of the runs that I did do over the last 2.5 months was actually on the weekends. That's when I actually planned my runs. I usually liked to run in the morning, and the reasoning behind that is because that's actually when I had the most energy, believe it or not. That's when I was the most focused. I would wake up, run the 10K. Before that, I'll eat scrambled eggs, maybe some turkey bacon, have a coffee, and that's it. I personally don't like to eat a lot because I don't like to feel full, and I also like to allow some time for the food to digest before I start running. If I am short on time or if something happens, I'll try to have a protein bar, and I'll have that with the energy drink. You should definitely eat before you go on long runs. That is my suggestion. And the only reasoning is because if you do, then you can tell the difference between if you don't. And that says a lot. For tip number 4, this is what I do in regards to breathing. If you search on Google and you wanted to know how you should breathe during these runs, it will tell you you need to inhale and exhale both out of your mouth and your nose. Me personally, what I like to do is I like to take really deep breaths throughout my mouth. When I need air and when I'm tired, I take deep breaths, really deep breaths, and I want to make sure I can feel it here in my belly. If I don't feel it here in my belly, I know I'm not getting enough air. You don't want anything that's not what that is. And you know what I mean. If you've ever taken a deep breath, you need to feel it in your belly. I mean belly breaths, okay? If that's even a term. And I do breathe in and out of my nose sometimes. I mostly like breathing out of my mouth, and I have my own technique, and it may be wrong, but I don't care because it can get me through my 10K. So what I like to do is like I mentioned before, I take the deep breaths until I can feel that in my belly, and then if I'm not as tired, I will breathe throughout my mouth. But these are shorter breaths. And I also like to breathe out too. When I'm exhaling, I like to take like these really like short exhales, kind of like almost like if you're running up a hill and you're kind of trying to get up the hill, sort of like a bike when you're riding a bike, pushing and you're pushing up that hill. It's kind of like that. It's just getting me further up that hill. It's just an analogy. It's not actually getting me up a hill. So another great note too, though, is that I don't put my runs on an incline. I could easily do probably a 1 of an incline, but I don't. And that would probably be the only difference between running outside versus actually running on the treadmill. The difference between the two can be an array of differences, but one of the main things that I was able to research on my own was just that the difference would be between you running an incline on the treadmill versus running outside, pretty much, because when you run outside, you're not likely going to be running on a field that's flat. You're probably going to be running through a neighborhood that probably goes up and down in elevation. So guys, this is the last tip. The last tip would be make sure that you're doing whatever that's best for you. If you get to the nitty-gritty and you look at the scientifics of how you're supposed to run, yes, that is how you're supposed to run, but a lot of runners out there, what they do is what's best for them. Some of them may like to eat a lot before a run, and some of them may like to eat very little. Some people may believe it's more of a mental game when you're running these long runs versus it being physical. I think that it's something that you're going to have to adapt to, and while you're consistently running and you're being consistent about it, you're going to realize the things that work for you versus the things that do not work for you. For me personally, I'm picky about the shoes I wear. If I don't wear the right shoes that day, I won't run. You can forget it. I'm picky about the type of shorts that I'm wearing when I'm doing my run and the shirt. So it's all up to you. So just make sure that you are being consistent if this is something that you wanted to get into. And anything that I'm giving today is solely recommendations, and this is nothing that I'm going to tell you to do outright. I'm not telling you to do any of this outright. These are just all from personal experiences and my personal encounters, and this is just advice for you, okay? You do not have to take this advice. So guys, I just really want you guys to be consistent, stay motivated. Actually, recording this video today, I actually ran a 10K, and I didn't do this in a few weeks, and I didn't think that, I was actually going to be able to finish, but I did, and I'm happy about that. I won't be doing 10K all the time. I did this because over the holidays, I ate a little bit, you know, I had some drinks and stuff like that with family and friends and things. So, you know, it's really important that you make sure that you get back on track. And that was just my way of getting back on track so that I can make sure that I'm staying healthy and fit. Did I have to run 10K? No. But, you know, I feel a lot better now that I was able to kind of get that out of my system. And, you know, it's just not, oh, well, because I ate unhealthy. It's also because, you know, it's good for you. And I like to be healthy. I like to feel good, and I like to look good. And yeah, you know, I want to live long, and I want to give an example to a lot of you who are trying to get in shape. So that's what this is for. That's why I'm telling you about this. Okay. So if you like what you are hearing, if you like what you see, just make sure that you please hit the thumbs up button and that you also subscribe. Right now, I'm uploading every 2 days. That may change, but if it does, I'll let you know. Don't worry about it. So, guys, thanks for tuning into this video, and I'll catch you later.